Have you ever woken up in the morning and wondered, is there more to life than this? Maybe you've spent years working hard, raising a family, or just keeping busy, but now you find yourself asking, what's next? Friends, let me tell you something important. Your best years aren't behind you. They're right here, waiting for you to dive in. Life isn't just about rolling along like a stone on the water, barely making a ripple. It's about jumping in, fully, deeply, and feeling every moment. At this stage of life, we start to realize that money, success, or even the things we once thought were so important, well, they don't mean as much as they used to. What really matters now? Connection, purpose, living with passion, and leaving a little bit of goodness in the world every single day. In this video, we'll talk about how to find and live your true purpose no matter your age. It's not about big, dramatic changes. It's about small, meaningful steps. Using what makes you you to make a difference, cherishing the people around you, and waking up each day with a reason to smile. So if you're ready to live life with more joy, more meaning, and more you in it, let's begin. You know, there's a big difference between just passing time and truly living. Think about it. When was the last time you felt that deep sense of joy? That feeling like you were exactly where you were meant to be? Maybe it was while working in your garden, sharing stories with your grandchildren, or helping a neighbor in need. That is what purpose feels like. Purpose isn't some grand, complicated thing reserved for famous people or world changers. It's simply about knowing that your life matters, that you matter. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to climb mountains or write a best-selling book to find it. Purpose can be as simple as sharing your wisdom, lending a listening ear, or even just bringing a little more kindness into the world each day. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I don't know what my purpose is? That's okay. Sometimes, we spend so much of our lives taking care of others that we forget to ask ourselves what truly lights us up. So let's start there. Ask yourself, what makes me feel alive? What do I love doing so much that time just flies by? Maybe it's painting, telling stories, fixing things, or simply being there for the people you love. And here's something else to remember. Your purpose doesn't have to stay the same your whole life. Maybe years ago, your purpose was raising your family or building a career. Now, it could be about leaving a legacy of love, sharing your hard-earned wisdom, or even just enjoying the little moments that make life sweet. The key is to start where you are. You don't need a big plan. Just a willingness to say yes to the things that bring you joy and meaning. Because when you live with purpose, something amazing happens. You don't just add years to your life. You add life to your years. Let me ask you something. When you were a child, what did you love doing before the world told you what you should do? Maybe you loved drawing pictures for hours, or fixing broken toys, or making people laugh. That little version of you knew something important about your natural gifts. Our purpose is often hidden in those things we've always been good at, those activities that come so naturally we don't even think of them as special. But here's the truthy, your most ordinary talents might be someone else's miracle. That patience you have, that knack for listening, that way you make people feel at ease, those aren't small things. Try this simple exercise. Take a quiet moment and think back over your life. What are the moments you were most proud of? Not necessarily the big achievements, but those times when you felt truly yourself, truly alive. Maybe it was when you taught a grandchild to ride a bike, or when you helped a friend through a tough time. Those moments hold clues to your purpose. Another way to discover your purpose is to look at what bothers you. Strange as it sounds, we are often called to help with the problems that pain us most. If it breaks your heart to see lonely seniors, maybe your purpose involves reaching out. If you worry about kids today, missing old-fashioned values, maybe your purpose is sharing stories from your life. Remember, purpose doesn't have to be dramatic. One of my friends found her purpose at 72 by baking extra loaves of bread each week for her neighbors. Another discovered his by volunteering to read to children at the local library twice a month. Small actions, big meaning. The most important thing: start where you are, with what you have. Your purpose isn't waiting for you in some far-off place. It's right here, in your hands, in your heart, in your everyday life. You've been preparing for it your whole life, without even knowing. You don't need a special occasion to start living your purpose. Today is perfect. In fact, the most meaningful lives are built on small, daily actions rather than grand gestures. Let me share how you can weave purpose into your everyday routine. First, begin your mornings with intention. Instead of just going through the motions, take a quiet moment to ask yourself, how can I make today meaningful? Maybe it's calling that friend who's been lonely, writing down a family story to share, or simply choosing to be fully present with whoever you meet. Look for opportunities in your ordinary activities. That weekly grocery trip, it's a chance to brighten the cashier stay with a warm smile and genuine conversation. Your daily walk, an opportunity to notice and appreciate the beauty around you. And maybe pick up that piece of litter that's been bothering you. Remember, living purposefully doesn't mean adding more to your plate. It's about doing what you already do, but with more heart. That doctor's appointment you have. Go a little early and chat with others in the waiting room. Your regular card game with friends. Make it about the connection as much as the game. Some days, your purpose might simply be to rest and recharge. That's important too. Other days, it might mean stepping slightly outside your comfort zone to help someone. The key is staying open to where life needs you each day. Keep it simple. Purpose isn't about perfection. It's about showing up as yourself. Did you share a kind word today? Did you listen without rushing? Did you do one small thing that made your corner of the world a little better? That's living with purpose. You know, one of the most beautiful things about living with purpose is that it never stops with just you. Like tossing a pebble into a pond, every purposeful action creates ripples that spread further than you can imagine. Think about someone from your past who made a difference in your life. Maybe a teacher who believed in you, a neighbor who showed unexpected kindness, or a relative whose wisdom still guides you today. Those brief moments shaped who you became, didn't they? Now imagine you get to be that person for someone else. Every time you share your hard-earned wisdom with a younger person, you're not just helping them, you're potentially helping everyone they'll go on to touch. When you choose kindness with a frustrated store clerk, you might change how they treat the next customer. Your decision to volunteer or contribute might inspire others to do the same. This is especially powerful at this stage of life. You have this incredible gift of time and perspective that younger people are hungry for, even if they don't always know how to ask. That story you tell about how things used to be, it's not just nostalgia. It's a lifeline to the past for future generations. That recipe you make, that skill you have, that lesson you learned the hard way, These are treasures waiting to be passed on. And here's something wonderful. The more you live purposefully, the more purpose you find. It becomes this beautiful cycle where giving meaning to others fills your own life with meaning. You'll start noticing opportunities everywhere. The new neighbor who could use a welcome, the community project that needs your particular experience, the family member who needs exactly the advice only you can give. Your life has already created countless ripples you may never know about. Imagine how many more you can create by living each day with clear intention. The world needs exactly what you have to offer: your unique blend of experience, wisdom, and heart. My dear friend, as we come to the end of our conversation, I want you to picture something beautiful. Imagine your life as a book, not one that's finished, but one where the most exciting chapters are still being written. The wisdom you've gathered, the love you've cultivated, the challenges you've overcome, these aren't just memories. They lay the foundation for what comes next. Perhaps you've spent decades being everything to everyone else: a parent, a worker, a caregiver. Now is your time to explore who you are at your core. That hobby you never had time for, that dream you set aside, that quiet longing to make a difference. These aren't just passing thoughts. They whispers from your soul, guiding you toward your next adventure. Don't believe for a second that your best days are behind you. Some of history's most remarkable people found their greatest purpose in their later years. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first Little House book at 65. Grandma Moses began her painting career at 78. Nelson Mandela became president of South Africa at 75. And they were just the famous examples every day. Ordinary people like you are writing extraordinary next chapters. Start small if you need to. Try something new just for the joy of it. Reach out to someone who might need a friend. Share a story only you can tell. Each purposeful act, no matter how modest, adds another vibrant brushstroke to the masterpiece of your life. As you go from here today, carry this truth in your heart: you are needed. You are valuable. You have gifts that only you can give to this world. The question isn't whether you still have purpose. It's how you'll choose to live it out each new day. Your life isn't winding down, it's opening up. And I can wait to see what you do with this glorious next chapter. The world is waiting for exactly what only you can bring.